Hey guys, how's it going? MegaLugia here, bringing you a competitive guide on how to use Mega Alakazam. Now this will be your first on many videos on my channel, going through the in-depth guide on how to use a Pokemon with their most viable sets, some sets that you don't see run as often that I feel can catch your opponent off guard and still put in the work. We'll also be going through the teammates that have the best synergy to pair up with your Pokemon so you can take advantage of it, and the counters and checks that prevent your Pokemon from 6-0ing the opponent's team. Now if this sounds like something you'd be excited for and something you'd like to see more of, it'd be dope if you gave this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any guides in the future. And it should be said that I am by no means the best competitive battler out there, but I do feel like I have some good experience in battling, so hopefully you learn some cool ideas from this, or see some sets that you want to try out, or maybe just refresh on your memory on something that you might have forgotten. Now with all that out of the way, let's hop into the guide for Mega Alakazam. So let's start off with the basics. Mega Alakazam being the psychic typing, offensively it is super effective against fighting and poison, fighting being one of the most offensive typings there are, so it's good to have that stab coverage. Defensively it is weak against Bug, Dark, and Ghost. Bug and Dark also being some pretty spammable moves in the tier, especially with the presence of U-turn and knockoff. That's not good news for Mega Alakazam, especially with its defenses, so you want to take that into consideration when building around him. Offensively, Psychic is resisted by Steel and Psychic, and defensively, Psychic are resistant to fighting and Psychic moves. But with Mega Alakazam, you don't even want to be taking resisted hits because its defenses are nothing to brag about. So you want to make sure you can work around that with your team. Also, Dark is immune to Psychic type moves, so you want to be able to have that prepared, and you want to be able to work around them. Even though Mega Alakazam does get coverage to hit the Dark typings, it's best to have Mons that can handle them on their own, and we'll get more into that later on in the video with the team building options. So taking a look at Mega Alakazam's stats, there's two crazy stats that just pop out at you. That being the crazy 150 speed and the stupid high 175 special attack. Now that gives Alakazam enough power to 2-hit KO, if not OHKO, everything in the tier. It can even 2-hit KO Mons that resist its Psychic Stab. Now upon Mega Evolving, Mega Alakazam gets Trace, which means it copies the other Pokemon's ability upon initial switching. So there is definitely room for some tricky mind games and some clever plays. For example, if you out-predict your opponent or get it on a deadly switch-in like on a Mega Beedrill, now you copy that adaptability and get ×2 for your stab instead of 1.5. That's enough to tear through most people's teams. So for an overview of Mega Alakazam, you're going to want to run it as max speed, max special attack, if not always with a positive boosting speed nature like Timid for example. That's because Mega Alakazam's specialty is being able to outspeed things and then blow them back with its power. And if you choose to run a modest nature over a Timid, you lose outspeeds on Mega Aerodactyl, Mega Sceptile, Mega Manectric, and Mega Lopunny. And if you don't outspeed those, they can definitely hit you back and potentially knock you out. So it's, like I said, it is best to run a Timid nature so you can outspeed them and take them out yourself. Also, like I just mentioned, you have the Trace ability, so you can take advantage of switch-ins or whatever it may be, like the adaptability example I just mentioned with Mega Beedrill. You can also switch in, for example, on a Heatran when it's going for a fire move, take that Flash Fire, now you're immune, or Pranks or Mega Sableye before it Mega Evolves. So there's definitely a lot of room for outplaying your opponent and giving them trouble. The way you're going to want to use it is either as a late game sweeper once the rest of your team have handled the Mons that give Alakazam trouble and counter and check it. Also as a revenge killer because of its crazy speed, you just bring it in and blow something back with your power. And potentially as a crippler, I put that with a question mark because Mega Alakazam does get access to moves like Taunt, Encore, and Disable. So for example, if you come in on a Mon that's setting up, you Encore it and now it just sets up and you can bring something in that can handle it, or take it out yourself with Alakazam. Taunt for, what are they called? Oh, for the blobs, Chansey. So now it only has access to Seismic Toss. It can't recover, it can't status you. Or you can substitute on, for example, like a Bisharp, and now there's some tricky mind games going on with that. So Mega Alakazam also lacks priority, so you're gonna want to take that into consideration. And if it comes down to it, although you don't want to be in that situation, be able to take at least one hit from them the priority hit and then blow them back with your power. Also, Mega Alakazam really appreciates hazard support from your team. That's going to be really important because it allows it to pick up 2-hit KOs or OHKOs that it might not be able to, especially with chip damage from, say, Stealth Rocks or Spikes. So in my opinion, there are two main sets that make Alakazam viable, and Mega Alakazam has a decent move coverage pool, and one of the first sets that you can choose are an all-out attack set. You're going to want to run Psychic, obviously because of its main stab. Now you can choose to run Psyshock here, but Psychic does have higher base power and allows you to hit mons like Landorus and Venusaur harder. Shadow Ball is there for bulky Psychic types that you need to handle like Latios, Metagross, and Jirachi. Focus Blast is there for the steel types like Heatran, Ferrothorn, and Magnezone. And Dazzling Gleam is there to hit Mega Sableye, which otherwise would give you trouble, and Energy Ball for bulky Rotoms, or if you encounter like a Mega Swampert in OU. So for the second set, you're going to go for 3 attacks and a way to cripple one of your opponent's mons. Now you're obviously going to want to go for a Psychic or Psyshock because it's your main stab, and for the next 2 moves you can run any combination, I guess, of Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Energy Ball, or Dazzling Gleam. I recommend Shadow Ball or Focus Blast, but it's really up to you. And the fourth move is going to be Taunt, Encore, Thunder Wave, or Substitute. Now, Taunt and Encore allow you to cripple setup sweepers or walls that try to recover, and what Thunder Wave does is it allows you to paralyze them on if you predict them to switch out or something like that. And if you do choose to go with Thunder Wave, it does give you the opportunity to run a positive boosting special attack nature like Modest instead of Timid if you're confident enough in your ability to Thunder Wave something on a switch in and then hit them back with a even harder Psychic or whatever move you choose to run. And Substitute allows you to, again, if you predict a switch out, get behind a sub, and now you're guaranteed 2 hits off, which is usually what Alakazam needs since it 2-hit KOs a lot of things in the tier. Or if you're 1v1 with the Bisharp, you can go for sub on their Sucker Punch if you predict them right, and now you have a chance to hit your Focus Blast. Although you're risking the miss, it's kind of something you gotta risk with a move like that. So here are the damage calcs that you get when running with a Mega Alakazam. So Psychic allows you to 2-hit KO, Spadef Gliscor, Mega Venusaur with a chance to OHKO it, Bulky Rotom Wash, Bulky Hippowdon, and Bulky Garchomp aka Tank Chomp, and both variations of Mega Charizard. Shadow Ball can 2-hit KO Starmie, Jirachi, and the Lottie twins, and you do have a slight chance to live a Psyshock, so if you want to take that risk you can switch in if you need to. Now, Dazzling Gleam offers 2-hit KOs on Mega Sableye, Hoopa Unbound, and it 2-hit KOs Dragonite from Multiscale at full, so if you break in the Multiscale, for example from Rocks, you do have a chance to OHKO it, and you do have a really small chance to live a Bandit Extreme Speed. It is really small, but if you are caught in that scenario, you know that you do have a chance. And Focus Blast can 2-hit KO Heatran, Ferrothorn, Mega Scizor, Mega Metagross, Spadef Skarmory, Kyurem Black, and you OHKO Hydreigon, but I mean Dazzling Gleam does the same job there. So as you can see from the damage calcs, Mega Alakazam 2-hit KOs a lot of things in the tier, and that's why I really recommend Substitute. So if you substitute on a opponent who wants to switch out, because a lot of people will, into a Pokemon that can handle one of Mega Alakazam's attack, like a Heatran or a Ferrothorn or whatever it may be, if you get a Substitute off, then you're guaranteed 2 hits, and that way Mega Alakazam fulfills its role of, just 2-hit KOing everything in the tier, and that's why Substitute I think is a really good move, and it really puts Alakazam in a good place, and you're able to get rid of your opponent's mons that they thought they could switch into, and it puts you in a really good place. So these are examples of team members you can use in Mega Alakazam. Magnezone, so you can trap steel types like Ferrothorn and Scizor, and you can OHKO them with a Choice Specs HP Fire, which Alakazam has to risk with a 2-hit kill usually, so Magnezone does a good job there. Conkeldurr can switch into dark types and can handle them with its crazy high attack stat and fighting stab, also as a priority which Alakazam lacks. It can also be a status absorber if you run Guts, so if something tries to T-Wave your Alakazam, you just switch in your Conkeldurr and now it gets that crazy high Guts boost, and its Mach Punches with priority are going to do even more damage. Heatran and Ferrothorn to handle opposing Heatran and Ferrothorns, and they can also set up Rocks and Spikes, so Alakazam can get that crucial chip damage which it needs to pick off KOs. You can also run T-Tar to handle bulky Psychic types that guarantee a knockout, which opposed to Alakazam's 2-hit KOs like Jirachi, Latios, and it can also set up Rocks, and it's a good special wall. And Landorus and Scizor provide those pivot supports, so they can take a hit, they're pretty bulky, then they can U-turn out into Alakazam, a slow U-turn, and then Alakazam can finish off the threat or pick it off with its crazy high special attack. So examples to some of the checks and counters to Mega Metagross are Assault Vest Metagross. Shadow Ball from Mega Alakazam is only a 3-hit KO on Mega Metagross, and it has a chance to OHKO you with a Meteor Mash, and even if it doesn't, it does have priority in Bullet Punch, which can pick you off. Scizor is a big problem because I know I did mention the chance of running Substitute and playing those mind games, but it's not an ideal situation to be in, and Sucker Punch and Knockoff are just scary to Mega Alakazam. Hoopa Unbound does have good special defense, so it can take one Shadow Ball from you and hit you right back with a Hyperspace Fury and you're gone. This is why I keep recommending Substitute, because it allows you to get 2 hits off on a lot of these mons, and that can be the difference between saving Mega Alakazam or letting it go down. Furthorn, like I mentioned before, it is a 2-hit KO with Focus Blast, and you do have to hit that, and it does have a chance to OHKO you with Gyro Ball because its speed is so slow and Mega Alakazam is super high. Azumarill with an Assault Vest can take 2 Psychics from you. It does have a chance to be a 3-hit KO as well, and it has a chance to, I think it's a 98% chance to knock you out with Knockoff, 100% chance to knock you out with Player Off, and it can 2-hit KO with Aqua Jet. So Assault Vest Azumarill can pose a problem. Scizor does take 2 Focus Blasts from you, and it can OHKO you with a U-turn and hit you back with a priority Bullet Punch. So again, priority here seems to be a big theme. Chansey is the bane of existence for Mega Alakazam. So Psychic is a possible 6-hit KO, and Focus Blast is a guaranteed 3-hit KO. Guaranteed being the word if you hit it, because we all know Focus Blast likes a mist, and Chansey can T-Wave you, and it's a guaranteed 3-hit KO with Seismic Toss. So you don't want to have Mega Alakazam and Chansey around. You wanna make sure to get rid of Chansey, and then your Mega Alakazam can do work. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the competitive guide for Mega Alakazam. I hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe you learned something here today, or you see a set that you want to try out, or just something that you want to take into your online battles. I hope it helped you out in some way. Anyway, if you did enjoy watching, it'd be dope if you gave this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future guides coming up. With all that out of the way, hope you guys are having a great day. MegaLugia here, checking out. Peace!